everybody, welcome to this next video on complex integration. So this is the sixth lecture in the series of summary lectures, right? So here we have already discussed in the last 2-3 videos, we have discussed the Cauchy's theorem and Cauchy's integral formula, and we have seen that how we can compute complex integrals using these this formula and that theorem. In this video, we are going to do some interesting thing. We are going to compute a real integral using Cauchy integral formula, or sometimes we can just use the Cauchy's theorem. So in this video, I will just discuss one problem, but we'll see later on that in the residue theory, later on we'll come to that residue theory also, we'll compute many real integrals by the help of this complex things like Cauchy integral formula and Cauchy's theorem. So let me just give you a simple integral to compute, which can be actually computed using this Cauchy integral formula. So my problem here is, I have this simple problem: compute this integral from minus infinity to infinity 1 upon x square plus 1 square dx, right? Now if you try to find out this integral by your normal ways, it is little bit difficult to find out this integral, right? First of all, you have to find out some substitutions so that this may be an integrable thing, and then you have limits also from minus infinity to infinity, so it is not a very regular integral which we usually compute. So let us see how you can make the use of Cauchy's integral formula to compute this particular integral, which has nothing to do with any complex number. Here x is a real variable from minus infinity to infinity, right? So the idea is, instead of this function, you consider the function f of z is equal to 1 upon z square plus 1 square, right? So you have replaced x with z, where z is a complex number, and you make this curve. You have you can call this curve from here to here. Suppose this is a semicircle with radius r, so this point, this length is r and this is r. So you call this line from here to here, you call it as c1, and then this circle, semicircle, from here to here, you call it as c2, and anti-clockwise. So you have a curve tau, which is c1 plus c2. This is a simple closed positively oriented curve, right? Okay. Now your function here, it has singularities at the point z square plus 1 equal to 0. So z is equal to plus minus iota. So you choose r such that this point, the positive point of problem, this iota is inside your CR, not C2, let us call it CR. Right? You can call it C2 also, but CR means it is a semicircle of radius r. So you choose r such that iota is inside CR. So one of the choices, you should have r greater than 1. Choose r greater than 1 so that z is equal to iota is inside our contour tau. Right? Now you look at the integral. Tau fz dz. So we are looking at this integral. Fz is 1 upon z square plus 1 square dz. Tau is your c1 plus cr, right? Okay, now you see what I can do is, let me just call this original integral as I, just a name. Now you see what is happening. This function here, this gamma, is a closed contour, and I can write this function as 1 upon z plus iota square upon z minus iota square. Okay, there is no problem. I can just factorize. I can write it as z plus iota square, z minus iota square, right? dz along tau, and this you call it as gz. If we call it as gz, this is because it has a singularity at the point minus iota, and minus iota is not inside our contour. So this gz is analytic on and inside gamma, right? Therefore, by Cauchy integral formula, Cauchy integral formula, this integral is equal to 2 pi iota g dash at the point iota. So you just compute the derivative of the function g and put it the value of z as iota. So you do that, what you'll get, this is 2 pi iota and its derivative will be minus 2 upon z plus iota cube. In place of z I am putting iota, so iota plus iota, 2 iota cube. So this is equal to pi by 2. So what I got is that this integral along gamma fz dz is equal to pi by 2. Now I am questioning what is the use for me, because I want to compute the integral I. So further what I am doing is I will write it as C1 plus CR fz dz is equal to pi by 2. Now this you can this is equal to integral along C1 plus integral along CR is equal to pi by 2. Now what is this integral? This integral is C1. What we will do, we will just first concentrate on this integral. What you do, you just parameterize C1. You see, what is your C1? C1 is this, from minus R to R, right? So if I want a parameterization of C1, it will be Z is equal to X, because C1 is along X-axis only, so Z is equal to X. X is from minus R to R. So here I can write, and then dz will be dx. So this integral becomes minus R to R fx, okay, because in place of that you will put x, dx, right, plus this integral is as such CR fz dz is equal to pi by 2. Now you see, what is this? If you take here, if we take limit r going to infinity, what will happen? You see, it will be limit r going to infinity minus r to r f of x dx plus this integral with the limit r going to infinity CR fz dz is equal to pi by 2. Now what is this? This is nothing but minus infinity to infinity. Fx is your 1 upon x square plus 1 square dx. This is the required integral, you remember, plus limit r going to infinity integral along CR fz dz is equal to pi by 2. Now you look, this is the required thing. This is your I. This is your required thing I. If somehow I compute this value, right? If somehow I compute this value, then I'll be able to compute I. And obviously sometimes you have to, you should have some intuitive ideas that what should be the value of this integral, because our original integral is just a real one. So, and this here we have pi by 2, which is a real number. So this integral should also be a real number, because we know that we cannot have a complex number as our answer if we are computing the real integrals. So let us try to compute this integral, right? Not integral, this value, because it is limit of the integral. So let us try to compute this limit r going to infinity CR fz dz, right? So if you try to compute this integral, this is 1 upon z square plus 1 square dz along CR limit r going to infinity. Now what is your CR? CR is this portion from here to here. This is your x-axis. So you can parameterize along CR, right? Your z is r e raised to power iota theta, where theta varies from 0 to pi. So this integral becomes, and dz will be r iota e raised to power iota theta d theta. So this is because r is constant and greater than 1. This is how we have chosen it. So this becomes limit r going to infinity from theta from 0 to pi. In place of z dz I will write r iota e raised to power iota theta d theta upon z square will be r square e raised to power iota 2 theta plus 1 square, right? Now you see, we have to do some manipulation with this. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'll just look at this quantity. I'm using I'll use triangular inequality because I want to simplify this expression which is here. So what I'm going to do is I'll look at this 0 to pi r e raised power iota theta d theta upon r square e raised power iota 2 theta plus 1 square. I'm taking the modulus, and I know if I take the modulus inside, so this is less than is equal to 0 to pi modulus of r e raised power iota theta d theta upon r square e raised power iota 2 theta plus 1 whole square modulus, right? Okay, now this is equal to modulus of r modulus of e raised power iota theta d theta, and this I know is cos theta plus iota sin theta, and its modulus will be square root of cos square theta plus sin square theta, which is 1. So I can further write it as 0 to pi mod of r e raised to iota theta mod is 1 d theta upon r square e raised to iota 2 theta plus 1 whole square mod. Okay, now you see, you look at this quantity here, right? This quantity, if I look, I can bring mod inside. R square is for iota 2 theta plus 1. This is greater than equal to mod of r square e raised to iota 2 theta minus mod of 1. So you should know that z1 plus z2 mod is greater than equal to z1 mod minus z2 mod, right? So we have this equality. This is actually, sorry, z1 minus z2 mod is greater than equal to z1 mod minus z2 mod. You can take it as minus 1, so you just put minus 1 here. Okay, yeah. So this is nothing but triangular inequality, right? So you must be knowing this form of triangular inequality, that z1 plus z2 mod is less than is equal to mod z1 plus mod z2. So this is another form of the triangular inequality. So you can just get this from here like this. You can just do mod z1. You can write it as z1 plus z2 minus z2, right? So this is equal to z1 minus z2 plus z2. So this is less than is equal to z1 minus z2 plus z2, and you can bring it on the other side. So what you'll get z1 minus z2 mod is greater than equal to z1 mod minus z2 mod, right? And another way of looking at this is, if you want to just have an understanding of this, is here what you are doing, you are just taking the mod of the numbers and then subtracting, and here what you are doing, first subtracting and then taking the mod. So there is a chance that these numbers add up, because you are first subtracting and then you are taking the mod. There is no chance that these numbers will add up, because first you are taking the mod and then subtracting. So this number is obviously bigger. So this is just an idea. So I have just used this here. So here again you have r square mod, and this is 1 because mod of e raised to iota theta is 1, e raised to iota 2 theta mod is also 1, minus 1. So this number is greater than equal to r square minus 1, and positive numbers are there because r is more than 1. So you can just take the reciprocal, take reciprocal. So what you will get if you take the reciprocal, 1 upon r square e raised to iota 2 theta minus plus 1, okay, whole square, mod is less than is equal to 1 upon r square minus 1, and you can then later on take the mod also. Everything is positive, right? Okay, so you see what you get that this number, this 1 upon mod of this quantity is less than 1 upon r square plus r square minus 1 whole square. So what we get this integral is further less than is equal to 0 to pi, okay, 0 to pi r mod r, but r is positive because we are taking r going to infinity, r upon r square minus 1 whole square, okay, d theta. Now you just integrate it because this is just r constant outside. So you have r upon r square minus 1 square pi, right? So you get that this integral along CR fz dz mod is less than is equal to this. And if I take limit r going to infinity CR fz dz mod, that will be limit r going to infinity r upon r square minus 1 square pi, this is 0. because you have in denominator r raised to power 4 and numerator r raised to power 1, right? So if this is 0, this integral, this limit is 0, then obviously this implies that this limit CR fz dz is also 0, because if we are just making them making it positive and you are getting a 0 limit, then the original limit is also 0, right? So what we get that this number here is 0. Therefore the value of your integral from minus infinity to infinity, 1 upon x square plus 1 square dx is pi by 2. Okay, so this is a technique with which you can use Cauchy integral formula or Cauchy's theorem to compute some real integrals. Right? Thank you for watching. Please share this video and subscribe to this channel.